In this week's parsha, we have an example of what seems to be a mitzvah without any rationale. The Torah commands us not to create an entity of basar b'cholov, to take the meat of a kosher animal and mix it with the cow's milk, which is also kosher, and it creates an isur. And the great scholars over the centuries have tried very hard to explain the rationale behind this mitzvah and many others. And I'm very excited because last week I came across a piece in a sefer called Likutei Halachos, which I think gives us quite an insight into perhaps the rationale behind basar b'cholov. Basar is so radically different than cholov. Man cannot just take meat, find it in the street, and eat it. He needs to take an animal and he has to slaughter it. This represents basar, the human element in the active sense. Cholov, on the other hand, belongs to God's beautiful natural world. It's perfect as is. It doesn't need human intervention. There's one concept which defies human capability of understanding, and that is that on the one hand, God grants us freedom, and we have the freedom of choice. On the other hand, everything we do fulfills the will of God. That's a basic tenet in Jewish philosophy. Nothing can happen against the will of God. But how do we reconcile these two? This is mystifying, that man has freedom of choice. He can do whatever he wants, and yet whatever he chooses fulfills the will of God. It's very similar to that paradox called Yediyah and Bechira, where God knows up in the future what we're going to decide. We'll never understand this until Yevos HaMashiach. So for now, to take basar b'cholov, mix it together, and make one entity out of human choice and human decision and action, and at the same time, the natural creation of God, that creation, to create basar b'cholov, make a new entity, that's something we cannot comprehend. Therefore, the Torah says, don't even try. Don't even make an effort to mix basar b'cholov. Yiratzeh may be His will, that we have opportunities to see insights into the Torah and to deepen our appreciation for Torah. Ken Yiratzon Amen, and thank you for joining me for this Dvar Torah.